And good morning, Kevin Miller here on KIDO Talk Radio. Miller's Mission continues, and we ask you to give a turkey, don't be a turkey. And folks, the weather's going to get colder, and there are going to be people that are going to be, hey, Kendall, why don't you have a seat here, please? And there are going to be people that are going to be looking for food, looking for shelter. And for over 60 years, our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission have made a difference. Kendall joins us now. Kendall, what is the need?
Turkeys. The need is turkeys. Good morning.
We certainly need turkeys. We would love for folks to give a turkey, don't be a turkey. And they can do so here at the Napa Walmart. They can go to get turkey vouchers or donate online anytime at boiserm.org. Kendall, we're going to ask you to stand by for a moment if that works for you.
Sure.
Always appreciate our friend Kendall joining us. Joining us now, Jenny Beth Martin from the Tea Party Patriots. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
You're on with Kevin Miller here on KIDO Talk Radio. Jenny Beth, so what is the fate of the Republic?
Well, I think that what we're going to see over the next 2 years is a lot of gridlock because Congress will be divided. And we are going to see investigations on the House side into President Obama, Justice Kavanaugh, and who knows what else the Democrats will decide they want to investigate. On the Senate side, things are a little bit brighter because the Republicans will still hold control, and so that means that the president's judicial nominations and other nominations can be confirmed, and we'll have to make sure that we keep reminding them to keep working to get them all confirmed.
What about the voter fraud, the allegations of voter fraud? We still don't know who was elected, wasn't elected in Florida.
Yeah, I think that it's a very real problem, and it's very concerning. And it seems that Broward County has problem after problem after problem. They are an example. Their government seems to be an example of incompetence, from the school board to the sheriff to the voting. The office for voters, the election office. It's very concerning, and it's really not acceptable. They're not following the rules. They had not disclosed how many votes were still left to be counted. They missed deadlines that every other county in the entire state can meet. So it's a real problem. I think at the end of the day, most recounts continue to go the way the person in the lead was, and hopefully we will see that at the end of the day, DeSantis is still the governor-elect and Rick Scott is still the senator-elect.
What about this mob rule mentality? You saw what happened to poor Tucker Carlson. It seems like they're out to get us.
Yes, it does, and it's very concerning. And we've seen that happen with Tucker Carlson. We've seen things happen in Seattle, Washington. So my point in saying that is things have happened coast to coast. The left has elected officials like Maxine Waters who, instead of reminding people we can change things through elections and we will change things through elections, is saying, go find people who support the president and yell at them wherever they are and confront them wherever they are. And when the leadership of a political party is saying that kind of thing and other leaders within the party are not condoning it or condemning it, it's a real problem. Because it encourages people to act a bit outside of the law and to do things like what we saw with Tucker Carlson.
When we take a look at what's next for the president with the House being taken over by the Democrats, how would you describe it, Jenny Beth?
I think that, well, one thing that I know Republicans and Democrats always seem to agree on is spending more of our taxpayer dollars. So I think that we will wind up, it will be a contentious and there will be a fight, but by next October we'll wind up they'll be spending more money. I would recommend to the president right now and to Congress to work to pass a reconciliation bill quickly before the end of the year during the lame duck session, and at the very least, make the tax cuts for individuals permanent, so that the Democrats cannot allow that to expire later. That would be one thing I would certainly do. And before the end of the year, we need the Senate to finish confirming the district court and circuit court nominees who are before them that the president has nominated. They're talking about getting out a week earlier rather than December 14th, getting out around December 7th. And if that happens 1 week earlier, it means that we could wind up with 7 circuit court nominees and 40 district court nominees that don't get confirmed this hearing, including the new person to fill Brett Kavanaugh's vacancy. And we need to get those confirmed before the end of the year.
Jenny Beth, if people want more information, what can they do?
They can go to teapartypatriots.org. Again, that's teapartypatriots.org.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Kevin Miller in the morning, our great friend Kendall joining us once again. Miller's Mission. We're here at the Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin, asking people to give a turkey, don't be a turkey. And we've got a lot of folks to feed coming up, not just only during the holidays, Kendall, but every day, over 1,000 people.
1,000 meals a day. Yep, every single day. But we do need turkeys right now. We need turkeys, and it's lots of ways to give. You can go buy one at any Walmart, or you can donate online. There's plenty of ways to donate, and about $15, that'll get us a turkey.
Well, what does that mean to people, Kendall?
That means hope. It means somebody cares. It means somebody's looking out for them, and a lot of people don't have that.
And you've dedicated your life to helping people, helping folks in the kids program, of mentoring folks. Why do you do that?
Because somebody did it for me, and I know that I want to love the way I was loved. Boise Rescue Mission really did open their hearts and arms. It's like a new family, and you can't buy that. You can't. I was just lucky enough to get it. And
is that possible, to be loved as you were loved?
Yeah, I do. I think it's possible. I try every day. I really appreciate what the mission did, and I just am honored that I get to be that for somebody else.
And won't you help Kendall and the Boise Rescue Mission make a difference, folks? BoiseRM.org, or stop by and see us like our friends at the from the Star Fire Department. Joined us so early this morning to donate turkeys. They decided they'd rather give turkeys than be turkeys. Thanks to the chief and the assistant chief and Star Idaho. We sure do appreciate you. Now, Kendall, when we take a look at most of us, we live in our cul-de-sacs, our HOAs. We're so focused on ourself. You see things and people that fall through the cracks. And thank goodness that we have the Boise Rescue Mission to make sure they don't fall all the way through the cracks. Can you share with us, the programs for children and women and adults, and how through God, faith, and the generous donations of people in the Treasure Valley, people have rebuilt themselves and contribute to society?
The Boise Rescue Mission has lots of programs for lots of different people for lots of different issues, and I'm just glad that they're there. I'm glad that they were there for me. I'm glad they're there for the next person, and I get to be a part of that. The kids are amazing, and they didn't ask to be in that situation that they're in, but we try really hard to make sure that they don't feel like they're in a bad situation, and that they have some sort of normalcy. And I'm just glad that the rescue mission's there, and I'm glad for donors who make it possible for us to be there for people in need.
Is there a particular happy day at the mission?
We try to make every day a happy day at the mission, but it's really fun to see our kids when they get to do something like the fire brigade, which the fire department gets together around Christmas time, and they just bring a bunch of different gifts, and the kids just get to pick till they're gone.
Yeah,
that's a really fun day.
And is everybody a kid that day?
Yeah, I do believe everyone's a kid.
Right. And a meal make a big difference?
It's where it starts. It's really where it starts. That one meal that opens the door, and then we get to start a relationship with somebody that lasts years and years and years, just to make sure that they don't ever feel like they're alone again.
Right. And that is so important for someone who's lonely right now. Maybe they're in desperate need of a hug. And you give good hugs, Kendall.
Oh, thank you. So do you, Kevin.
What would you say to them?
just give us a call. Come tell us what the need is. We can't help unless there's you have to walk through the door, and we're there. The door will open, I promise.
Where would the Treasure Valley be without the rescue mission?
That's a thought I haven't really even wanted to think about.
Well,
there'd be a lot more people in jail. There'd be a lot more people on the streets, and that's a sad thought.
The reason why I ask this is there's so many times, and it never makes the headlines of people that come up to City Light or the river or the lighthouse. Maybe the hospital drops them off. Maybe somebody drops them off, and all of a sudden they're lost. And if that door was shut instead of open, what would happen to them?
Most likely jail or an institution or something like that. But I'm just glad that that's not the case, that our community likes to work together and start a case plan for somebody who needs it.
Right. George? Kendall, we appreciate you. Thank you. God bless, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for what you're doing here.
Oh, thank you. I know it's not easy, a little cold out, but we sure appreciate you coming out this morning.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Kevin Miller in the morning, asking you to give a turkey, don't be a turkey, here at the Walmart Garrity in Franklin. We so appreciate our friends at Camping World Boise, the Team Mazda Subaru, the Boise Rescue Mission for making a difference. One turkey, two turkeys. Our friend Steve that works in the criminal justice system earlier today, he dropped off some diapers, some baby wipes. These things don't go wasted. How many times do we take a look at when we eat something? And maybe you're like me, and I know I have the physique of it, the Clean Plate Club. But we see what goes to waste. Well, at the Boise Rescue Mission, the food, the clothing, the shelter, it doesn't go to waste. They take care of everything, and they help feed Treasure Valley families. Won't you join us again as you're waking up this morning, you feel that sting on your face. Maybe you're wearing a light jacket. Maybe you're bundled up, and you're going to go to someplace warm, whether it's your home, whether it's your work. But if you're on the streets, where would you go? Well, for over 60 years, the Boise Rescue Mission has answered that need, and we need you right now to help them. We're here at the Nampa Walmart till Saturday night at 6, online anytime, boiserm.org. You can stop by any Walmart and pick up a turkey voucher. And I want to thank Walmart for joining our campaign, our crusade. More coming up next here on KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. We're very blessed to be here this week at the Walmart. It's not as cold as it usually is. And, we've had the rough winters. We've had snow. We've had ice. We've had rain. Really, it's a balmy 22, 24 degrees. And look, I'm blessed because I have more insulation than most. However, to be in this cold, let me put it to you this way. Your heat ever go out in your house, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, gosh, how dependent am I on Idaho Power and Intermountain Gas, and I've got to make those payments, and I've got to take care of my kids and clothes and such. It can be overwhelming. Not only does the Boise Rescue Mission house people that need a home, but they serve over 1,000 meals a day for the working poor. And I've been there. I've been there at the River of Life in Boise. I've been at the Lighthouse in Nampa, City Light Home for Women and Children, and the Nampa Home for Women and Children in the Valley Home for Women and Children here in Canyon County. And these folks come in. They're hardworking. They just need an opportunity, and that's why we're here. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is our 8th year of living, of working, of reflecting what people go through on the streets. Now, we have a nice tent here, thanks to our friends at the Idaho Tent Company. We have a nice camper, thanks to Camping World and Team Mazda Subaru and the Boise Rescue Mission. And we're away from our home. And we do that to shed light on this incredible opportunity for you to give. There are people on TV, and there's a need everywhere. But right here in the Treasure Valley, this is where just buying a turkey can make a difference. Please help. Our friend Flora joining us right now. And Flora has an incredible testimony of the power of God, of the power of faith, of the power of perseverance, and just the transformation in her life. Let's hear her story now on KIDO Talk Radio.
Well, basically, my life started out with domestic violence, drugs, alcohol at a very young age 4. And it just continued all the way. You know, I never got out of it until I was 44, but my childhood was just, you know, watching my parents fight. That's where the domestic violence started, and I watched that, and I thought that was a normal thing. As I was growing up, I thought that was normal. Your parents beat each other up and had affairs with other people, and you still stayed with them no matter what. That was how I grew up, and that was my thinking. So, as a young adult, I started doing the same thing, staying with guys who beat on me and guys who cheated on me, and then I would cheat on them, and I thought that was the way life was. All the way up, at 14, I got pregnant from a 26-year-old man, because my mother let him move into the house with us, and at 15, I turned 15 in March, had a son in July. As a kid, having a kid, that was quite something in its own self. But then I realized that I couldn't do it, and I was too young. And so I decided, my mother actually wanted me to keep my son so that we could get a check each month. And that just kind of sealed it for me. I decided to give him up for adoption. So it's when he was 7.5 months old, I did. That was probably the hardest thing in my entire life. Probably even harder than stopping drugs and whatnot. I still remember that day to this day, and he's 40 years old now. So, but I remember that day like it was yesterday. So, well, I became homeless. I'd been married to my second husband, and I split from him many, many years prior, and I was living with this guy for 12 years, and he started doing drugs, and of course we always drank. The violence was there. There was always fights. And you know, I grew up in that, and that's all I knew all through my life, until I came to the mission. So I didn't know how to live any differently. And I surely didn't know how to get sober, let alone how to stay that way. And so when I've been married twice, and couldn't tell you the amount of relationships I've had, until I came to the mission, and they introduced me to God, and that was the ultimate relationship I've ever had. So.
And there we have our friend Flora making a difference. God bless you, Flora. We are here and collecting a bunch of turkeys. We just have this collection of 6 carts, Chandler? 6 carts full of turkeys from people donating. We're going to hear from them in a minute. Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio.
107's Eric Everett.
And I'm Kevin Miller with our great friend Kelsey joining us now from the Boise Rescue Mission with a really great story of generosity.
Well, we just had TC Electric go inside, bought every single turkey inside our location, and also gave us a $1,000 check. He wants no recognition. He just wants to bless families here in the Treasure Valley. It's just super awesome family out here.
Well, once again, that company, TC Electric.
TC Electric.
And just, 6 cartfuls of turkey?
Maybe more. There's 82 turkeys here, so it's a lot of turkey going on out there.
So they donated 82 turkeys and $1,000.
That's correct.
And what did they say? Because we did ask him to come in.
Yeah, I asked him to come in and said, oh my gosh, can we talk about why you're doing this? And he said, nope. I just want to be a part of what Kevin's doing, and we're just excited to be here today.
Well, we sure appreciate TC Electric and all they've done. And how does that make you feel?
It's awesome to see somebody get behind everything that's going on at the mission. It takes all of us to change lives every day, and it breaks my heart for the community and what we can do here with the Lord Jesus Christ and folks like TC Electric. There's just no end to the amount of people who can have a new life.
And it shows, Kelsey, that people care.
Absolutely, people care. The Lord cares, and people care. If you're out there today and you're broken, we've got 4 facilities here. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to love you and help you.
And we've got some food.
We got plenty of turkey out here, so come and enjoy a nice meal with us. Our cooks are amazing.
Incredible meals, and we sure do need some more. So once again, thanks to TC Electric, and what a generous donation. And Kelsey, you've been involved in so many fundraising things with the Rescue Mission. But thank you, folks. Thank you, TC Electrical. Thank you. Miller's Mission always very special because the spontaneity, and we can be sitting here and then boom, all of a sudden TC Electrical comes by and they're hauling turkeys.
Yeah.
Can you take us through that?
Yeah, you sit out here and you're just trying to plug away minute by minute with all the things that are going on and the technical difficulties and the heat, and then the Lord shows up,
You're going in depth with that, yes.
It's survival mode, Kevin.
We love you.
We're out here on survival mode, and then somebody shows up, and it's the Holy Spirit, shows up, and it just takes me back to, what God has done in my own life and what God can do in anyone else's life who's ready to give themselves up and do what the Lord has for them.
It shows you the power of light over darkness.
That's right. It's amazing to see a heart open up, and they want to get behind it. They want to love people, and they're putting their money behind it.
Well, God bless them.
Yeah, God bless them is right.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
They didn't want to come on.
They didn't want to come on. He brought his daughter and his son out, and they bought every single turkey, so they're trying to restock in there.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Walmart. Kelsey, once again, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm super excited about this, and I'll be here all morning if anyone wants to come on down. So,
okay.
Challenge is, who's next?
Who's next? Thank you, Kelsey. Won't you join us in helping the Boise Rescue Mission? God bless those folks from TC Electric, TC Electrical. You've made such a difference. And in the world of cynicism, we wonder what difference can a turkey make? Well, we're doing that today in Nampa. Won't you join us? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
Hope you're having a great morning, hearing the stories of hope and inspiration, and won't you be a part of us? Miller's Mission here at the Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin. Tammy joins us now. And Tammy, thank you for being out here in the cold from the darkest of the night here. Now the sun is coming out. Good morning.
Good morning.
What can we do for you? Tell us a little bit about your experience with the Boise Rescue Mission.
Oh, I've been with the mission for 6 years. I just love it. So it's just a great place that people can come to us wherever they are in the time of hurt and hunger, and they get hope, first of all. And we meet them at the door with love and compassion, as well as a meal and a shower. And I try to explain it to people like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Your basic needs.
That's a little highfalutin for our audience, but if you can explain it, that would be great, Tammy.
No, absolutely. So basically, it's just your basic needs need to be met first. So acceptance, food, shelter, warmth. And then once those basic needs are met, that really opens our guests up to be able to work on the next level, which is resume writing, job search, housing, and that kind of stuff to help them move forward. But the first step is that warm meal and shelter and acceptance.
Well, how do you get people to believe again?
I just think that it's accepting them where they are. So when they come in and they're hurt and they're broken and there's no judgment there, we just take them in, we give them shelter, we give them food, and we give them love. And then that brings hope that things get better.
Well, what can people do to help you?
Turkeys are great. This is, we serve meals in our shelters as well as about 4,000 boxes during the holiday season. So there's really, that food goes a long way to meet the needs.
And families, how are they impacted?
you know, being able to bring your family in and knowing that your children are safe, or, you know, even though you can't be together right now, that your husband is safe and your kids are safe, and that you guys have a holiday meal, you can come to the banquets and be together as a family. That really gives them hope and inspiration that life gets better.
Tammy, many people take for granted the idea that a family stays together. You know, we take that for granted, and I can remember when I lived at the river for a week, you had a family that you had the wife and the kids living at city, and you had the husband living at the river, and their time together was the meal. And they were working hard, and they, at the end of it, I remember a gentleman come up to me and say, Kevin Miller, you know, we've got a home, and in a couple weeks we're going to be all together again. And how blessed all of us are, Tammy, that, you know, we have time with our families, and here we have folks that are committed to each other, committed to God, and through the work of people like you and the Boise Rescue Mission, they can live together again.
It is absolutely wonderful, and it is something that we take for granted. If we get to go home to our spouses and our children every single night, and we get to prepare a meal and do those things that we consider normal, we don't even think about the people out there who don't get to do that. And meals are a huge time for families, because that is one of the times that they get to sit down at a table together, and dad gets to talk to children about how their school went today, or to hug his wife and to let her know that he's still there for her even though they're not together right now. And that's another source of hope for the family, that time that they get to sit together in our facilities or at the holiday banquets and just be, for a moment, a sense of a normal family.
Tammy, anything else you'd like to share with us today? We appreciate you being a trooper, coming out a couple times, getting ready here in the bullpen. What would you like to say to someone right now that's listening that would encourage them to come join us and, like our friends moments ago, give turkeys, not be turkeys?
Please come on out. It's a little bit chilly. It's a ton of fun, and it really makes more of a difference than you can imagine.
BoiseRM.org if you'd like to donate anytime online. Tammy, great job. Thank you. Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio. Miller's mission continues. Phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We'd love to take your calls. Maybe you know someone who has stayed at the Boise Rescue Mission. Maybe you've known someone who, in fact, has had their life changed. Maybe you know someone who is going to make a donation, like our friend Annie who just walked in. And we love Annie. She does a great job. And she joins us now here on KIDO Talk Radio. Every year, Annie comes out and donates, and she's always looking out for folks, whether it's with St. Vincent de Paul or giving your humble talk show host some life advice. Annie, good to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Well, how do I look?
You look great. Those sparkly blue eyes of yours just continue forward and carry us forward.
Thank
right?
you. The blushing will keep me warm.
You're
here this
still
morning.
a handsome prince.
Yes,
after all these years, right? It definitely does. Well, I'm sitting here thinking I might have to slip into Walmart and buy a pair of gloves. It's a little chilly out here this morning.
Well, this is what we like to do. We like to really be you have the actors that are, they get into the role. So here we are experiencing the cold. And, Annie, for us, we can go into Walmart, we can go into our homes, and we're warm. Others, they're not so lucky.
They're not so fortunate, and that's what this is all about. And for those of us who are living faith-based lives and working in industries where we care about the citizens of our community and any awareness that so many in our community have to reach back and help those who are less fortunate, it makes all the difference in the world for those who have needs.
Why are you involved in the faith-based community, Annie?
Well, I don't think I've known my life any other way. And I think especially, Kevin, we've had these conversations as our lives move forward and we get a little bit older. I think that's what we know is that we know that that's all that really matters, is being in service to one another. And through Christ our Savior, or whatever your faith may be, I think it just brings an awareness of why we're here and what our mission is as citizens in our community and through our faith. I mean, it's one thing to go to church. It's another thing to live the life.
Right. And when you have people in need, to give them a hand.
And it's an honor to serve those people. I think the greatest thing about living in the United States of America is that you can lose everything on Monday and get up on Tuesday and start all over again. And through the rescue mission, I mean, incredible works that come out of this organization. It's amazing what can happen. And, people do lose faith. They lose hope. They're hungry. They're tired. They've had drug problems. Things go wrong. And the great thing about the mission is there's no judgment. You just come in and you have to turn yourself over and let those who will believe it for you help you, restructure and build a new foundation and go forward and have a really wonderful life.
That is so much easier said than done. And, we give all the glory to God, and we appreciate the people that have the courage to put themselves forward to our Lord. And then you have the people that are staff that deal with the worst of the worst until they're converted.
And we pray for those people to have the strength to know the words and have the patience and have the gift through through their faith to know what to say, do, support, help people, bring the opportunities to people. I mean, it's through people that have these gifts and are employed by the mission and other nonprofits who can bring forward these opportunities for people who are less fortunate.
Annie, we always appreciate you donating. We always appreciate your support and prayers. Now I've got to ask you a couple professional questions, if you don't mind.
Here we go.
Put you on the spot. Now, for people that are interested in the housing market, what do you do? And I know you never want me to say this, but I have to thank you for all that you've done for me personally and for all you've done for the mission in St. Vincent de Paul's.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, professionally, I've been lending money for 28 years. I was a transplant from Seattle, Washington, 14 years ago, and have had just a really great, lively time putting people into homes. And, we've had this conversation about, you're talking about the libs coming, but I will tell you, I have met some of the most wonderful people who have come off the Pacific Coast.
I know you were taking me to task as far as my throwing the broad blanket on folks coming in, but we'll stay nonpartisan today.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. But the housing market here in the Treasure Valley, and if you want to say where you work and if people want to go to you, you're a faith-based individual, I recommend you.
Thank you.
Please let everybody know. And then I do want to talk to you a little bit about the housing market and such.
Well, I work for Eagle Home Mortgage, and I'm at Annie Fuller at EagleHM.com. And we are located in Meridian, just off the Eagle Road exit and just south of Overland.
Now, I'm going to ask you that again. Can you give us your insight into the housing market, what's going on? We see the headlines, the lack of affordable housing, your friends coming in from the Pacific buying all the homes. So I had to tweak you a little there on KIDO Talk Radio. Where are we at? Some people say it's cooled off a little. We remember what happened back from 07 to 2011, if that. Where are we in the housing market right now?
Well, this was a very different year. I think we were hit upside the head very quickly starting 2018 with just inventory. Just an inventory challenge. The cycle for building homes used to be 90 to 120 days. Typically now we're looking at 6, 7, 8 months for a building cycle. We've had rapid increases in appreciation in the homes. So, and we do have many people coming off the Pacific Coast who, they're selling their 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch for $500,000 and coming in and buying homes for cash. They bypass people like me. They're not even coming to see Annie. So
They're not coming to see Annie.
Not necessarily, and
Right.
they're bringing it's made for a very interesting market. It has cooled off a little bit. It does slow a little bit this time of the year, no matter what. But we'll see what happens. As we all see the apartments coming up on the sides of the freeway, and that those are all people that are, they're coming here and they don't have the ability to buy just yet. I will say this though. As lenders, if people have the desire to buy a home, we will do all that we can to help them get situated. But it's participatory. It's very engaging. We need people in to see the lender. There's lots of really great programs available for first-time home buyers.
Especially in Idaho, yeah.
Especially in
Right.
Idaho. If I could just make one sentiment, one of the things I'm noticing is people are taking on more debt. And I have had car payments as high as $900 and $1,000 per month. People are walking in with these high payments.
Probably those big pickup trucks, just an editorial comment
Big
there.
pickup trucks. They're driving around, as
Yeah.
we say, in their mortgage payments. So, it's very important to keep those debt structures low. We have had some rate increases, but we're still posting at historical lows.
Right.
So if people will work with us and we put them on a coaching plan, it might take a year, but we will get folks into their homes.
And again, if people want to get a hold of you, my friend.
Annie Fuller at eaglehm.com.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And thank you, Reverend Roscoe, for everything you do and your staff.
Reverend, do you want to thank Annie here?
I always want to thank Annie, and I do thank you, Annie, and I appreciate that good commentary about home loans and getting into a house, because there's a lot of people in our programs right now who are working, saving their money, looking forward to getting into an apartment and eventually getting into a house, such as Flora, who you had on earlier. Flora is a homeowner here in Nampa now.
And that is wonderful, and we will have more coming up. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And we sure appreciate Annie coming by, and our friend George here, and Ray Amaya back at the studio, and Chandler, and all of you. And Reverend Bill, here we are. There we have the Commissioner, Tom Dale, with us once again, asking folks to give a turkey, don't be a turkey. Now, Max is going to join us. We'll have Max on here next hour. But it is a group effort here, Reverend Bill.
It's a community effort, Kevin, and that's what I love the most about being right here in the Treasure Valley of Idaho. It's such a wonderful community spirit here, that people care about one another. People want to help one another.
People are calling on the phones. We've got the hotlines going here.
I'm telling you, and technical difficulties that Kelsey mentioned earlier. And
full disclosure here. That's what we love. Let's go to Commissioner Dale. Your thoughts here. You've been here every day. Thank you for joining us again.
Well,
sir.
good morning. I just wanted to stop by on my way to work to see you in your turkey suit, and you're not in it.
Well, you know something? This has been such a great day. People wonder why I'm grumpy. Okay, we have Kelsey disclosing the technical difficulties. Reverend Bill, I can't even remember what you said about me moments ago. And then we've got the commissioner revealing that I'm not in the turkey outfit, and he's disappointed. And it's not even really the start of the day yet.
But it doesn't really matter, because we're all here working together for the same thing, and that is to help the people in our community who need it the most.
That's right.
The Bible tells us that pure religion is to take care of widows and orphans in their distress.
That's right.
And that's something that we are doing here. We're taking care of those people who need what we can offer to them.
Preach it, Commissioner. Preach it.
Come on down.
Preach it.
Okay, we'll save the revival for a moment. Traffic and weather together.
Evans Eric Gebert.
And coming up, we will have more from the Nampa Walmart. We're here till Saturday at 6. Won't you join us in feeding Treasure Valley families? I want to thank TC Electrical for stopping by, their generous donation. The Star Fire Department for dropping by this morning. The momentum continues to build. We've only got a few days left, a few days to make a difference, Reverend Bill.
Folks, get in on it. Get in on the joy, on the love, on the pure happiness that goes on here.
A true public-private partnership. It is amazing the lives that donations today can help influence and turn towards God.
One hot meal makes a big difference in someone's life. I've heard so many, hundreds of stories, Kevin, over the years. came in here and got a good meal, and people cared about me, and the next thing I know, I'm in the recovery program, and today I'm back in the community working, making a living, taking care of my family.
And contributing and donating. Won't you join us now? Help us help the Boise Rescue Mission. We're at the Nampa Walmart. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.